this is the danger with trying to monetize your hobbies too much. Because if you monetize a hobby, it eventually becomes work. And even if you enjoyed doing the thing initially, you lose some of that enjoyment when you have extrinsic motivation applied to it. People sometimes are like, ask the cliche question of like, Ali Abdaal, what's the secret to your success? And I'm always like, well,
this is part 2 of the 2-part series I did with Ali Abdaal. Now, Ali is the #1 productivity expert in the world. He's got like 7 or 8 million followers on all different platforms around the world. He's the author of the brand new feel-good productivity book that's gonna hit bestseller. Let's get back into this episode with Mr. Ali Abdaal.
The stuff that we say to ourselves has an enormous impact on the way that we perform in everything. It's unfortunate that most of the shit that we say to ourselves is kind of negative a lot of the time. If you are confident with the thing that you are trying to do, then you'll naturally just be more productive and perform better at doing the thing. You'll also be less stressed because you have this dose of confidence going for you. So how do you then build your confidence? One way of building your confidence is to...
Hello Dream Nation and welcome back. Look, before I get into this episode, I just want to say something. And look, I always wish that I learned about personal development, entrepreneurship, business, and emotional intelligence way earlier on in life, and I'm sure you did as well. So my goal with this channel is to turn this thing into the thing that we all wish that we had at a much younger age. And the only way we can do that is by you subscribing to wherever you're actually listening to this or viewing this episode right now. Because the more subscribers we get, the bigger and the better the guests are that we can get on this show as well. Therefore, making the content even more juicy and better for you as well. So if you can just take 2 minutes right now and hit that button if you haven't done it yet, I'd be forever grateful. And let's dive into this episode today. Guys, this was super cool because this is part 2 of the 2-part series I did with Ali Abdaal. Now, Ali is the #1 productivity expert in the world. He's got like 7 or 8 million followers on all different platforms around the world. He's the author of the brand new feel-good productivity book that's gonna hit bestseller. And we've just had an amazing chat on the 17 unconventional ways to be more productive in our lives and businesses. So if you haven't yet done part 1, go back and watch part 1 and then come back and watch this part 2, because I broke down half of them on the first part and now we're about to dive into the next chapter. So guys, let's get ready, buckle up. Let's get back into this episode with Mr. Ali Abdaal. Okay, Ali, welcome back for part 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
So the last episode, guys, if you haven't watched part 1, go and dive into part 1, where we broke down the first 8 unconventional ways to be more productive in life and business. So in this episode, we're going to go through from 9 to 17. From your book, Feel Good Productivity. It's out now, links in the description, everything. So go and get yourself a copy. All right, number 9, Ali. To be more productive, we must feel good. To feel good, we need more power. To have more power, we need more confidence. Talk to us about what it's like to actually develop more confidence. One of the things you were talking about in your book was the study between different groups when they were primed for confidence and ones who weren't.
Yeah, so confidence is interesting. Confidence is one of the things that can profoundly change the way that we approach our work. And as we know, changing the way that we approach our work helps us be more productive at the work, but also helps us feel good about life, which is also a very useful aim. So confidence, how do we get more confident? There's some cool studies they've done where, the one that comes to mind is one where they got these volunteers to go into a lab, an exercise lab, and they got them to exercise on these like exercise bikes and stuff. And then, half the group, they said, you guys performed above average, you're really good. And the other half of the group, they were like, you guys are a bit shit. You guys are below average. And then they got them to come back like a week later. The trick was there was no difference in performance between the two groups. They were just lying through their teeth, like the researchers. This is what they do in these sort of psychology studies. They tell you a lie and they see how that lie changes the way you behave. And so half the people were told that they were very good, and the other half the people were told that they were very bad. And they came in a week later to do the exercise kind of test again. And they found that the people who told that they were good, the people who were primed with this dose of confidence, they actually performed better on the cycling task the second time around, and they enjoyed it more compared to the people who were told they were bad. They physically performed worse on the exercise task, and they also enjoyed it a lot less. And that's interesting, right? Because performance on an exercise task, initially you might think, well, it's an exercise bike, it's like the wattage is quite, it's based on your physical output. But it's not actually based on your physical output. Anyone who does any form of athletics knows that there's so much of a mental game involved in this. And actually, there are all these sort of mindset tweaks that you can make that genuinely change the way that your body actually physically performs. And we find that feeling as if you are confident at a thing profoundly changes the way that you approach the thing. So this applies to exercise, but it also applies to studying, it applies to work, it applies to business, it applies to literally anything else. If you are confident with the thing that you are trying to do, then you'll naturally just be more productive and perform better at doing the thing. You'll also be less stressed because you have this dose of confidence going for you. You'll also feel better about it because we tend to enjoy doing things that we feel confident in, and we tend to not really enjoy doing things that we feel unconfident in. So how do you then build your confidence? I guess that's the next question. One way of building your confidence is to do the thing multiple times. Practice breeds confidence. If you do a thing repeatedly, you become better at doing the thing, and the competence that you gain breeds confidence. So that's one way of doing it. Another way of increasing your confidence is something called vicarious mastery experiences by this guy called Albert Bandura, who's a psychologist from back in the day. But basically what that means is that if you can observe other people doing the thing well, that makes you confident that you can also do the thing yourself. So if, for example, in my case, when I started a YouTube channel, I knew no other YouTubers, but I watched YouTube videos of other YouTubers and listened to podcasts about people growing on YouTube. And I was like, all of a sudden, I feel much more confident about making videos. When I was building my online business, I would listen to the Indie Hackers podcast and the Y Combinator podcast and like YC Startup School on YouTube and stuff. And this would give me confidence that, even though I don't know any entrepreneurs in real life, that's okay because I can see all these people in the content that I'm consuming that are succeeding at doing the thing. I would love in particular the Indie Hackers podcast, which talks about kind of solopreneurs in their bedrooms and like how they're making 100K a month, 200K a month, 400K a month, and like from the craziest business idea, and how there's like one dude who's like 17 programmed this thing that he just saw was really cool, and now he's just making millions. I was like, whoa, that's incredible. Because most of us are not surrounded by the sorts of people that are really succeeding at the level of doing the thing that we want to do. If you're lucky enough to be surrounded by those people, then amazing. You've got a leg up in life. But if you're not, you can change your content diet. You can actively seek out podcasts and YouTube videos and audiobooks and books from people who have succeeded at the thing to make you increase your own confidence at doing the thing. And then the final way to increase your own confidence is, this one's kind of weird, but this is to just act as if you were already confident. And I used to use this a lot when I was working I used to perform as a close-up magician in parties and balls at university.
I heard.
And that's really freaking scary. It's really scary going to a ball where people are paid like 400 quid for a ticket and everyone's in their sort of fancy tuxedos and like ball gowns and stuff. And they're all there with their friends and having a good time and drinking and stuff. It's really freaking scary being the guy to go up to a group of people with like springing a deck of cards and being like, hey guys, I'm the magician. Do you want to see a magic trick? You're interrupting their conversation. You're like, this is the worst thing ever. Like, how did I end up doing this? Why am I here? What am I doing? And there was some really good advice that I got from another magician around if you're struggling with confidence, then instead of thinking of yourself as yourself, just imagine yourself playing the part of someone who is confident. Just like pretend. Just act as if you are an actor who is really confident, or act as if you're a magician who's really confident in that situation. And in a way, you can almost flip this confidence switch in your own mind. And the mind is a powerful thing. If you tell yourself, I am playing the part of someone who is confident, versus, I'm really struggling with my own confidence, the mind will then create the behaviors in you that are the actor who is someone who is the mind will create these behaviors in you of an actor who is trying to be, or an actor who is confident. And in reality, no one can tell the difference. Maybe, your mum who knows you really well can tell the difference between real confidence and fake confidence. Your mum who knows you really well can tell when you're putting it on. But like strangers that you meet at a party, no one can tell whether you're genuinely confident or whether you're just faking it. And so you can always just change the way change your mindset on these sorts of things. If there's something that you're doing that you feel particularly unconfident in, try and kind of pretend that you are actually more confident than you are and just sort of approach it as if you were confident. And B, try and actually just do practice and like surround yourself with examples of people who are doing the thing, because all of that is going to increase your own confidence.
A friend explained to me one time, he goes, and this was the freaking best. He goes, you know how sometimes when you travel, he's like, when you travel, do you go out and party? And this was a long time ago, okay? He's, when you travel, do you go out and party? I'm like, well, yeah, of course. He goes, great. And do you pick up women? I said, well, yeah. He goes, how do you show up when you're traveling, especially solo, talking to random women at the bar? And I'm like, I'm a totally fucking different person. And he goes, bring that confidence into every meeting, bring that level of you into all the things you're doing here. I'm like, that's so true. Because when I would travel, it's almost like I had this attitude of like, I'll never see anyone here ever again.
Yeah.
And the thought of just not caring at all went. And the attitude of when I'd pick up girls at a bar here or talk to strangers about my business, the lingering thought of, oh, but they might know me or whatever is there, and it blocked me. So when I made that switch, just being like, I don't give a fuck, the chances of me probably ever seeing this person ever again is slim. And even if I do, I still don't care. My life freaking changed.
Mate, it speaks to what we were speaking to in part one of this, around this idea of just like not giving a fuck. This is why. So when Mark Manson wrote his now famous blog post called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck back in like 2015 or whenever it was, I resonated so much with that blog post because he put into words what I'd been kind of thinking for a while, and with the experience that loads of people had, which is why that blog post went viral, which is that we can choose what are the things that we actually give a fuck about. And if you don't give a fuck about how people are perceiving you, you become more confident. You know, obviously don't be a dick, but like you just become way more confident. If you quote, don't give a fuck about, I don't know, the performance of like the metrics on your latest YouTube video, or like whether or not you're going to close that one particular deal, like when you act in a way that you don't care about the outcome, you become way more confident and you perform way better at doing the thing. Like if you need to close that sales deal because your business is your business is on the line, that's a very different energy than if you're like, no, I can take it or leave it because like it doesn't make any difference to me one way or another whether I close this particular deal or not.
Yeah.
I think that thing applies to practically everything in life as well.
Okay, so number 10. So I'm on the priming ourselves for confidence because I like that. So pretty much what you were saying. So part 9 of this was the things that people are essentially told before or after the thing that they're about to do will prime them for confidence or can prime them for unconfidence. So I'll share a quick story of my mentor, David. He said to me one time, I think it might have been climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, maybe another mountain. He said, when he was on the way up, it was grueling. It was horrible. And every person he would ask how much further to go, they would say, you're so close, you're doing great, keep going. And he's like, okay. And he just got more and more excited. And he's like, this went for days then. He's like, surely I can't be that close yet. And every person he went past, they would say, keep going, you're so close, keep going. You know, you're nearly there. Get up to the top, took the photo. On the way back down, there was signs on the posts facing back to the people walking down that said, anyone asking how much longer, tell them you're so close, keep going, you're almost there.
Nice.
So everyone walking back down was saying these positive things to people when they were in the pits of freaking hell. And for someone who fucking hates hiking, I always think about that. I just actually imagine someone telling me, you're almost there, you're almost there, you're almost there. So have you got any hacks on how we can sort of prime ourselves or use this thing, essentially of things where feedback we're getting to prime ourselves with more confidence?
Yeah. Oh man, I love that story. That's great. It speaks to, like, again, people will think that this is cliche shit, just think positively. But it's cliche for a reason, because it works. Like thinking positively and telling and giving yourself positive encouragement and other people giving you positive encouragement makes an absolutely enormous difference in the way that we approach our work and in the way that we perform in literally anything that we do. If you're trying to do anything, especially as a beginner, if you're trying to do something you're not very good at yet, as a beginner at doing the thing, you need positive reinforcement and encouragement way more than you need constructive criticism, because you're just going to get way better by just doing the thing repeatedly. You know, if someone is, in my case, people ask me for advice around growing their YouTube channels, and if often they're like, oh, I want you to critique my strategy and my niche and shit. And you look at the channel and they've made 2 videos, and I know that like that's not what they need right now. Right now what they don't need is me telling them like, have you really thought about whether you can really stand out in this niche? What they need is, look, you've got 2 videos, keep going, just stay consistent. You got this. Like this is really good. This is good stuff. And then we can start, like, once they get better at the thing, we can start being a bit more like constructive criticism-y with our feedback. And I think like we all kind of, a lot of us know this to be true when we're giving encouragement to our friends. Like if you've got a friend who's like trying something new and I don't know, maybe they're learning to ski and maybe you're pretty good at skiing and they're sort of finding themselves falling over and stuff. You know that the right thing to do is just give them encouragement and like help them get over that fear and help coach them through that process. But when it comes to talking to ourselves like that, we don't take that same advice. We don't treat ourselves as we would our friends. If we're a beginner or something, especially if you've had success in any other area of your life and now you're a beginner at, I don't know, learning the guitar or starting a business or something new that you haven't done before, it's so easy to just beat yourself up about not being perfect from day one because you've already had success in this other area of your life. And there's a really cool study where, again, it was this exercise bike situation. They got like two groups of people to sort of cycle on exercise bikes until, their time to exhaustion. So they've figured out like, how much power were they outputting on this exercise bike. And one of the groups, they told them, whenever you're feeling stuck, whenever you feel like you want to give up, just like find a phrase and just repeat it to yourself. Like, you're nearly there. You got this. You can do this. You are powerful. Things like that. Things that sound corny as fuck when written on a motivational quote poster. That group were repeating that thing to themselves over and over again, and they performed better on the task. Their time to exhaustion was increased in that it took them longer of cycling. It took them more amount of time cycling to get to the same level of exhaustion. And that's really cool. Just by giving themselves positive encouragement in their head, they were able to increase their performance on this physically demanding task. That's pretty sick. It's the same thing as the Kilimanjaro example. Like, give yourself encouragement. Give yourself like little nuggets of positivity along the way. And there are some people that will listen to that or read that somewhere and will think, oh, fuck that, this is all just bullshit. Those people are probably not particularly successful in life. They're probably not where they want to be. The people that look at self-help advice and kind of scoff at it usually are not the sort of people that you want to be listening to about how to be successful or how to achieve your goals or how to live a happy, fulfilled, meaningful life. Mm-hmm. The people that have done that and are living the sort of life where they think, you know what, I'm actually living a life that I love, tend to look at motivational quotes and think, yeah, I know what that's getting at, rather than looking at motivational quotes and scoffing at like how cliche that particular thing is.
I love what you're saying. So here's the thing. I'll tell you a funny story. So when I first did, have you done Tony Robbins' UPW?
No, I haven't done that one.
Okay,
With Destiny and Business Mastery, yeah.
So he does the firewalk, right? And the only thing I'll give it away for you is he pretty much gives you a chant to say in your head, and you say cool moss, as you walk across this fiery pit, and you don't get burnt. And when I obviously I'm a trainer of neurolinguistic programming and all this stuff as well, and when we're sort of investigating all of this, what actually makes up our internal perception, really, we've got three parts that makes our internal state: the things we focus on, our physiology, our body, how we're moving, our breathing, all these, and then our language, our internal dialogue. And what they noticed was, because they did a test on Tony's firewalk, and they're like, oh, well, you're telling yourself cool. You're saying the word cool in your head, so you're saying it, then you're focusing on cool, not hot. So if you walked across the fire and you said, oh, this is really, really hot, oh my God, I'm going to burn, you'll probably burn, which is probably true. But then they test it. They're like, we wanted to test it if it's the word you say or if anything will work. So they replaced it with, oh shit, my feet are burning, quack, quack. Oh shit, my feet are burning, quack, quack. They realized they walked across it and still didn't get burnt. And then what they realized was they can actually say, you can say anything you want to just jam the internal dialogue. Because when we're going through hard things like the cycling, or so my example, hiking or cardio, I really don't like cardio. I think it's absolutely fucking horrible. I'd rather just not do it. I don't like it. And we went to Yosemite Park in California once, and my friend says to me, hey, let's go for a hike, and she loves hiking. She's like, yep, cool, let's go for a hike. And I got my mileage in kilometers backwards. So she goes, let's do this one. It's only about 9 miles. And in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's 2.2 miles to a kilometer, but that's 2.2 pounds to a... Yeah. So I was like, oh, it's only like 4.5 kilometers. That's not that too far. Yeah, sure, let's go. Now we're about 4 hours into this hike. It's actually, I think about 9 miles is about 20 kilometers or something. It's massive. And it's up this huge hill through this fucking waterfall and everything. I'm 3 hours into this thing. I'm hating life, man. And I see a sign and it's like, you're out the halfway point. I'm like, get fucked at the halfway point. And then I noticed, I was like, okay, here's the thing. I'm either going to leave the whole group and walk back down, and I'm still going to hate it for the next 3 hours walking back down, or I'm just going to finish what I started, do the whole thing, but what I'm definitely going to do is not continue with the same attitude. So I made up this thing in my head, and I said, I love hiking and hiking loves me.
Nice.
I love hiking and hiking loves me. And I would say it out loud. I love hiking and hiking loves me. I love hiking. I kid you not, within 10 minutes, I'm jumping in puddles. I'm like, yeah, I was just so excited. We get to the top of it, had an amazing time. I learned my lesson. I still don't do big hikes like that. And I use this anytime I'm doing something that's mentally hard, that I'm not really enjoying, that I know I want to complete. Yeah. I'll pick something to jam my internal dialogue and prime myself, because I understand how this works. And I did it a few weeks back. My friends invited me to our Saturday workout. And it was like, I don't know if you've ever done CrossFit before, but it was like 3 CrossFit sessions in a 1 hour block. It was fucking horrendous. Yep. We get about 50 minutes into it, and I'm like, I'm thinking, how I could just back out. Like, there's about 100 people in the class. I could just leave. Just grab my keys. No one will even notice I left. I just fuck this. And I did the same thing. I'm like, I love cardio and cardio loves me. I love cardio and cardio loves me. I smashed the last 10 minutes, had a heap of fun, then went back on this Saturday and we did the entire workout again. But this time when we completed it, I was like, are we finished already? Not only did I train a lot harder, but I enjoyed it because I was actually just aware of the things that I was jamming inside of my head. Because I think if we don't intentionally prime it with something, we leave it up to what our mind wants to do, which is always wanting to rest and chill and the latter, right?
Absolutely. I started doing this. I was speaking to, this was our mutual friend, Chris Williamson, who's also a podcaster. I asked him, Chris, man, how'd you do it? How'd you get, how are you in such good shape? How do you get yourself to the gym and enjoy the shit? And he said something to the effect of, I've convinced myself that the pain is fun. Convinced myself that the pain is fun. I was like, okay, that's interesting. And so when I was in LA last week, there was a gym at the hotel and there wasn't that much equipment, but there was some dumbbells and a bench. And I was like, cool. Legs, Bulgarian split squats. I freaking hate Bulgarian split
hate them.
Absolute fucking nightmare. I hate them. I do them and I get to like 7 reps in and now the final 3, I'm like, oh God. But I remembered that thing that Chris told me and I was like, I was saying to myself, I love this. This is fun. I love this. This is fun. I love this. This is fun. As I was like gritting my teeth through the pain of this fucking Bulgarian split squats. I love this. This is fun. I love this. This is fun. And I managed to complete my workout, which I'd never do before. I've never done before with Bulgarian split squats, where I've always just abandoned at like 7. I was like, 7 reps. I mean, that's 5 to 8 reps is reasonable anyway. Like, who needs to get to 10 anyway? It's totally fine. Like, my form is going to suffer as well. Like, I don't need to push myself. But I love this. This is fun. I love this. This is fun. Weirdly made such a difference. It's like, the stuff that we say to ourselves has an enormous impact on the way that we perform in everything. It's unfortunate that most of the shit that we say to ourselves is kind of negative a lot of the time. And, by just training that, we can actually make it very positive rather than negative, which is a weird kind of hack because now everything in life is better because your mind controls your experience.
Yes. I love it. Okay. Number 11, plot twist. This one's actually my one. So, on confidence, okay? So I wrote here, so we don't necessarily need confidence because sometimes people ask us, how do I develop more confidence? And especially everything I do is about helping people create their dream life.
Yep.
And so I'll read what I wrote. I'm not sure if I brain dumped this. I'm not sure if it's going to make sense. So I wrote, we don't necessarily need more confidence in ourselves. What we need is confidence that what it is we're actually seeking can be done. And I think you talked about this before, actually. You already got to it. We need confidence that the thing that we're actually seeking can be done. And then we must take the first step of courage. And then what we do is build a wardrobe of evidence along the way. The continual steps of courage is the thing that builds confidence. And I learned this a long time ago when I got into public speaking. Someone said to me, I asked them, I said, how are you so confident to speak on stage? And she's like, I'm not. I shit myself every time I go out. I said, then how do you do it? And she says, all I do is I take one step of courage and then the confidence will follow. And I was like, so I started to use that every single time where there's something I'm not confident at yet. And here's the thing, if we waited until we were confident to actually do the thing we want to do, we would never do any of the things we want to do because no one's ever born with confidence. Confidence is a feeling, but I'm more convinced that confidence is actually just a collective of evidence to show you that you're competent. I think it's more competence that people are chasing. Confidence, yes, you can feel confident now, but it's competence people are chasing because if they feel confident in doing something, they'll feel more motivated to actually do the thing. But then it also happens on the flip side. The thing that destroys confidence in people is not doing the thing they said they were going to do. So if they're like, I'm going to write a book, and then it's always the thing they said they were going to do. Or, hey, I'm going to start going to the gym this year. This year is my year. I'm going to lose 10 kilos. I'm going to go to the gym. Then they start doing it for 5 days, and then they have an excuse. Oh, but I can't this. And then they stop. What now happens is, in our psyche, our brain starts to collect all that evidence still. And now it's like, okay, well, yes, there's 5 days you went to the gym, but there's also these days where you were being lazy and you make excuses and all this shit. So the next time we actually go, hey, I'm going to set this goal now, our unconscious mind's like, I'm only going to deploy a little bit of potential. because you don't even fucking do the thing you said you were going to do. And I have a lot of evidence to show you don't do that. Because I think this is a thing that a lot of people struggle with, is actually collecting evidence. But then and I say this all the time, unless your goal is to actually colonize Mars, all you need to do is find someone who's already done the thing you want to do. And like you said before, we can actually get confidence from that. If it can be done for someone, you don't have to believe that you can even do it yet. We just have to believe that it can be done, and then have the belief that you can learn the skill set and the mindset to acquire that. Now the journey begins. What do you think?
I love that. I think there's a lot of truth in that. The thing that came to mind as you were speaking was this idea that confidence is domain specific, in the sense of you can be really confident at, like, I don't know, the gym, but not very confident at, I don't know, public speaking, for example. It's not like a general trait of confidence that people have. So confidence is domain specific, but actually there is a domain general thing, which is the belief in yourself that you can get shit done. And if you have, for example, started your own business and been able to quit your job and been able to learn sales and marketing and copywriting and landing page design and web development and payment processing and all the shit associated with running a business, you've been able to teach yourself that. That gives you profound general confidence that you can figure shit out. So that the next time you're trying to do something, the mind is a lot less likely to say, oh, I can't figure this out, this can't be done. It's much more likely to say, I can figure out anything that I set my mind to. And I think that's, people sometimes ask the cliche question of, like, Ali Abdaal, what's the secret to your success? And I'm always like, well, how do you define success in the first place? But if I was seriously answering the question, it would be, I think starting businesses from a young age, and actually, or rather at any age, starting a business forces you to learn skills. And when you give yourself evidence that you can learn skills, you give yourself evidence that you can basically do anything that you set your mind to. And so, when I started writing the book, people were like, oh, but you've never written a book before. I was like, yeah, so I'm sure I can figure it out. Yeah. Similarly with my YouTube channel, people were like, oh, but like, you've not had any formal training in videography. Like, I was like, so? I mean, YouTube exists. I can figure it out. Like, it's not that hard. And I really find this to be a trait in most, quote, successful entrepreneurs that I know, is that they have this attitude of, I can figure it out. Everything is figure-outable, as Marie Forleo titled her book. It's just so good. And the people who really struggle don't seem to have this innate belief that everything is figure-outable. They hold themselves back by thinking, I don't have enough knowledge yet, don't have enough experience, like, I need to get this certification before I do this thing. Like, all of these stories we tell ourselves that hold ourselves back. But like, literally everything is figure-outable. And, you just figure out where you want to go and then figure out the path to get there. And if you don't know the path to get there, find someone who has been there and who can tell you the path. Or watch a YouTube video of someone who has been there and can tell you the path. Or read a book from someone who has been there and can tell you the path. And to your point, unless you're trying to colonize Mars, which is like, something that's not been done before, now you have to make up your own path. But again, hazard a guess that for literally anyone listening to this, the thing that you're trying to do has in fact been done before, and there is a path out there, and all you need to do is seek it out.
I love this. All right, we're up to number 12. We've already touched on this. I can't remember if it was in this episode or in part 1. Extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation. Talk to us about what the difference is between these two. Because when I saw this in the book, I was like, that's interesting. I've definitely used more. I probably used a lot of extrinsic still. So talk to us a bit about both of these, extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation.
Yeah.
What's the difference and which one's more useful?
Okay, right. So I'm going to explain this on 2 levels. So when it comes to thinking about motivation, there are sort of 2 levels to think about this. Level 1, which is what we're going to explain first, is extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is when we are motivated to do something because of some kind of extrinsic or external reward, or to avoid some kind of external punishment. For example, I'm doing my job for the money, or I am studying this exam for the grades because those grades will get me into the good university or whatever the thing is. Or I am doing this thing because my parents want me to and they'll hit me with a stick if I don't do the thing. These are all extrinsic motivators. Intrinsic motivation, on the other hand, is doing something because you want to do the thing. It's like, I'm doing the thing because it's fun. I'm playing squash because it's fun. I'm not playing squash because it will make me healthier, which is an extrinsic motivator. I'm playing squash because I enjoy it. I'm not making a YouTube video because it will make me money. I'm making a YouTube video because I just want to make a YouTube video. Intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. Now, again, we're still at level 1 here of our understanding of these 2 things. Generally, there's like two things that we need to know about these things. Intrinsic motivation is way better than extrinsic motivation. If you are doing something because you actually want to do the thing, rather than because there's some sort of external outcome associated with you doing the thing, you're way more likely to do it, and you're going to be more productive at doing it, and you're going to enjoy it more, and you're going to be more creative, and you're going to be less stressed. But key insight number 2, again, this is to level 1, is that when you add in extrinsic motivation to intrinsic motivation, you lose the intrinsic motivation. So what this looks like in practice is if, for example, you really enjoy playing the guitar, but then you make playing the guitar your living, and you start having to make money from playing the guitar, you would think, oh, I'm playing the guitar and I'm making money. Life is great. But no, that's not how it works. When you get paid for doing something, it sucks some of the joy and some of the intrinsic motivation out of doing that particular thing. This is the danger with trying to monetize your hobbies too much. Because if you monetize a hobby, it eventually becomes work. And even if you enjoyed doing the thing initially, you lose some of that enjoyment when you have extrinsic motivation applied to it. So level 1 understanding is let's try and find ways to be intrinsically motivated to do the things that we know we want to do. Let's find a way to enjoy the process of going to the gym. Let's find a way to enjoy the process of making sales calls or doing that PowerPoint presentation or studying for that exam. If we can find a way to make it fun, at that point, we're tapping into intrinsic motivation, which means we're more likely to do it. So that's level 1. Shall we go to level 2 as well?
Let's go.
Level 2, extrinsic, intrinsic motivation, recognizes that is oversimplifying it. And in fact, there are 3 different forms of extrinsic motivation. And some of them are better than others. So all the way on one end of the spectrum, you have fully external motivation. The only reason I'm doing this thing is because of the reward associated with it, or because of the money, or because of the whatever. Then you have the second type of extrinsic motivation, which is called introjected motivation. This is the motivation of guilt and shame and coercion, of like, I really should study for that exam because my mum and my dad would be incredibly disappointed if I didn't. Like, they have sacrificed so much for my education, and I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't give it the best shot.
So it's like the stick.
The stick.
And the first one was the carrot.
The
reward.
So the first one could also be the stick in terms of my mum and dad will hit me. The second one is more like I'm shaming myself and guilting myself into doing the thing. Okay. So it's like still extrinsic motivation, but it's a little bit more like it comes from within rather than from without. But I've generated this feeling of guilt and shame of like, oh, I have to do this thing, otherwise I'll feel guilty if I don't.
What's up, Dream Nation? Have you ever wondered how far ahead your life would have already been if you had got access to this type of content at a younger age? Look, this is why I need your help. I'm trying to build the #1 personal development platform out there to teach you guys the tips, tricks, and attitude of what it takes to live your dream life, and to bring the type of education that we all wish we had in school. This show only grows by word of mouth and new subscribers, so it would mean the world to me if you could smash that subscribe button right now, leave us a 5-star written review, or drop a comment below and share this episode with a friend. I would be forever grateful. All right, now let's get back into this episode.
And then you have the third form of extrinsic motivation, which is identified motivation. This is, hey, I'm going to study for this exam. I don't enjoy it, so it's not intrinsic motivation. But, actually, it's really meaningful to me to be able to become a doctor. And I know that studying for this exam is going to help me fulfill my dream of going to med school and becoming a doctor. That's a dream I've decided for myself. My parents haven't told me about this. I've decided for myself what I wanted to be a doctor, and therefore I'm going to study for this exam. These 3 different types of extrinsic motivation are very different. On the one hand, you're motivated entirely by a reward or by avoidance of a punishment. Number 2, you're motivated by an internal sense of guilt. And number 3, you're motivated by a going towards a value that you really care about. Which means if you really care about being a doctor, if you really care about being financially independent, whatever the thing might be, you are willing to do the hard things, even though they're not fun. And obviously, in an ideal world, everything we do would be intrinsically motivated. Of course, everything would be fun. Of course, I would go to the gym because it's fun, and I would never need to use discipline or willpower to get myself to the gym. I would never be tempted to skip a workout because I just enjoy it so much. In the real world, intrinsic motivation does not last. It is always fleeting, even for things that are fun. I used to enjoy making YouTube videos all the time. Now I don't enjoy them all the time. Like, the intrinsic motivation has gone from it. Eventually, everything stops being fun. And so if you want to continue with something, you have to find a durable form of extrinsic motivation to keep you going. And the best form of extrinsic motivation is identified motivation. Even though this thing does not feel good, even though this thing is not fun, I personally value the thing it's getting me, and therefore I'm going to do it. even though going for a run right now when it's cold and raining is not fun, I value health and vitality.
So like the outcome, you're valuing the outcome of what you're going to get from doing the thing.
Absolutely. But I personally value it. I'm not guilting myself into doing it. I'm not like I'm going to be a fucking slob if I don't do the thing. That would be introjected motivation. I'm not thinking, oh shit, if I can do this, my dad will pay me 20 quid for going for a run, which would be external motivation. I'm thinking, you know what? I really value my own health. And therefore I'm going to go on the run, even though I don't feel like it. And the goal is to get everything that we're doing to be either intrinsic or identified in motivation. Either it's really fun, so we do it anyway, or we really personally, intrinsically value the outcome it's going to get us, and therefore we do it anyway.
Yeah, it's almost like you'd almost need to go through all those levels to kind of get to that outcome. Because like, let's say I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I've never woken up. You know, times if I've had time off gym, when you're training, you want to keep going, right? Like now I'm in a good flow right now. I've got a good new gym. The gym I train at really hits my dopamine levels because you get there and they have a board of like your to-do list.
Nice.
I'm like, fuck yeah. And it just helps me like crush it. Yes. Yeah. Right. So that helps me. But when I'm not training for a while, I definitely like my motivation to get up is you got to fucking get up because you got to turn into a fat fuck. You know?
Okay. Introjection motivation. Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes when I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I'm like, yeah, no, but if you don't do it, you're going to get fat and lazy. You're going to feel like shit. So go and do it. And then I just also understand, I know that there's about a week or so of getting back into consistent training before I start to actually go, no, I want to go because I feel amazing when I do it. Yeah. So it's almost like I need to use that stick because it's like that pain or pleasure, right? Yeah. And they're going to get it going, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think when it comes to gym, my approach is I sort of go it the other way around in that I try and go intrinsic first. I think, let me do whatever the fuck I can to make going to the gym really fun. So I will find like an amazing audiobook that I've either already listened to that I know is amazing or like that I really want to listen to. And I'll tell myself I'm only allowed to listen to that audiobook when I'm at the gym. I will stretch out my workout so it doesn't feel that taxing. I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to give myself an hour. I'm going to give myself 2 hours. And it's a fancy gym I go to. So I'm going to treat myself to a latte afterwards and drink more calories than I actually burned off at the gym. And that gym happens to have a sauna in it. This was back in the day when I had a gym with a sauna in it. I'm going to treat myself to a little sauna session afterwards as well. Do you know what? Actually, the next time I'm going to get myself a massage. It's like stacking up all these different carrots so that I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's go to the gym. Let's make it fun. That kind of thing. And then eventually all those disappear. And then I'm like, cool, I'm going to the gym because I value the health outcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess it's both different ways to get to the same thing, which is most people do not go to the gym because they just fucking love it every time. You have to, most of us have to push ourselves a little bit to get there. It's just whichever type of motivation we use to get there. And obviously the place we want to get to is I really value my health, therefore I'm going to do it.
Is that what's motivating you now with YouTube?
What's motivating me now for YouTube is identified motivation, where the outcome that I really care about is service. It's like, I'm not making this video because it's fun. I have other things I could do for fun. I'm making this video because I genuinely think that the stuff that I can say in this video has the potential to change someone's life. And that's really cool. That's the sort of person I want to be is a really good teacher in the field of personal development who helps people build a life they love. Man, that's a cool, that's an outcome I really care about. Therefore, I'm going to set up the cameras even though I really don't feel like it and start filming the video. Because most of all, like when it comes to procrastination, it's usually a problem with getting started. Once we get started, it's usually easy enough to keep going. Like once you're at the gym and you've like put in the first rep, you might as well just continue at that point. Like it's not that hard. It's getting yourself to the gym to put in the first rep. That's by far the hardest part. Similarly, when it comes to filming a YouTube video, doing a podcast, it's actually getting the setup and hitting record. That's the hard part. Once you've hit record and you've said, hey friends, welcome back to the channel or whatever the thing is, and now the rest of it kind of flows.
That's so funny hearing you say that in person. Hey friends, welcome back. Say that again.
Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. That's why, honestly, this is why
so anchored.
This is why I still start with that phrase.
Yeah.
Technically, a good YouTuber should not start their videos with, hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Technically, someone's clicked on the fucking title and thumbnail and you should hit them with some high dopamine, hooky introduction that like tells them the value they're going to get from, in this video, you're going to learn A, B, C, D. But what I found for myself is when I put so much pressure on the opening 10 seconds of the video to deliver value and to get retention, it increases the friction. It makes it even harder to do. And I set up the cameras and I hit record, and then I have this, oh fuck, like how do I open this video? God, okay, I can't just say, hey friends, I need to. In this podcast, I'm interviewing Ali Abdaal, the blah 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 blah. Fuck, no, that's not going to work. Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about Lewis Housebook, the great. Oh, no, that's not going to work. Fuck, and then I'm like, fuck it. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Ali. I'm a doctor turned entrepreneur, and I'm the author of this book, Feel Good Productivity. But to be honest, in this video, we're not talking about my book. We're talking about my friend Lewis Howes's new book, The Greatness Mindset. And to be honest, there's like 7 really great things I took away from this book. It's a pretty fucking enormous book, and there's so much stuff in there. But in this video, I want to talk you through the 7 things I learned from this book personally. Let's go. Like, so easy.
Yeah, it is
Technically, it's not like retention-y, it's not hooky and stuff, but it's like I've done the thing to make it easier to do the thing I know I want to do, which is to make the video. Yeah. Even if that comes at the expense of losing some percentage of people because they were like, who the fuck is this guy?
I love it. I love it. Okay, number 13. This one I loved so much. And when I was thinking of like, how does this make you more productive? And I was like, actually, when I do this, I have a really good day. Random acts of kindness.
Oh, yeah. One of the coolest things that you can do to make your work feel more good is to find a way to do nice things for other people. Now, if you can find a way to connect the work that you're doing with some sort of service, that makes basically anything you do feel good. You can be doing the grimmest job in the world, but if you can genuinely connect it with doing a kindness to someone else, it will make it feel good. You know, I might not enjoy filming my YouTube videos some of the time. I might not enjoy writing my book, but if I can really connect it to, the stuff I'm sharing here does have the potential to change someone's life for the better. It makes it feel way better. So that's one way of doing it, by directly connecting the thing that you're doing with this, service-based outcome. But the other way of doing it is within the course of your work, just like doing nice things for people in an incidental way. So I found this when I was working as a doctor. The day, there's something really nice about making a cup of tea for the nurses. I would go into the little nurse's office and I'd be like, there weren't little nurses, it was a little nurse's office. I'd go into the little nurse's office, I'd be like, hey guys, I'm going to make some tea. Would anyone like some? And they'd be like, oh, Ali, yes, I'd love some tea. And, over time I would learn what their tea preferences were of like, how long to steep the tea bag and how much milk and sugar to put in and stuff. And then I'll kind of wander over to the kitchen, make myself a cup of tea, make tea for like Julie and for Jane as well, and then bring it back and be like, here you go, Julie, here you go, Jane. Maybe I'll add a little like biscuit. There was one time during the pandemic where the hospital cafeteria was selling scones for like 20p. That's like basically nothing. And so I would just buy a pack of like 10 scones for like £2 and just like gift them to the nurses and like the ward staff. I would never ask them for money back. It's only £2, like who gives a fuck? And I was just like, the amount of joy it added to my life to be able to do that just random act of kindness of just like bringing a little tea and a biscuit for someone. It's just so nice. Even though, when I was working during the pandemic it was pretty tough and it was pretty draining and like people were dying and like COVID was around, being able to just make a cup of tea for the nurses and give them a biscuit was added so much joy to my day and to my life and like really changed the way I approach my work. And I've tried to incorporate this idea of random acts of kindness into everything else that I do. If I'm finding myself feeling like, I don't want to do this thing, I'll sometimes just get up and offer whoever's in the room a cup of tea. And I find that it'll make a difference. A, it's good procrastination. B, I get some caffeine in myself. But C, the fact that I've been able to make a cup of tea for someone else really like lights me up inside. And if we can find a way, whatever work we're doing, to inject these random acts of kindness for the sake of someone else, with the expectation of nothing in return, we find it massively boosts our own energy as well.
I'm pretty sure, I'm not 100% certain of this, but I would like to see a study. I'm pretty sure when we give things, the feeling that we get, I think it does release oxytocin, which is our love chemical. Yeah. So it makes sense because when I saw that, I was like, that's so unconventional. But I agree that 100% would work. Yeah. It makes you feel great. And then you just have a great day. Like if you buy strangers groceries or something, it's like, you just want to do more epic shit that day.
Exactly. And it makes you more productive, but you kind of realize that like, it's not really the point. The point is you just have a great day, whether or not you're productive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, number 14. Number 14 is how do we beat procrastination with the Unblock method?
Yeah, okay. I mean, that's all like 20,000 words in the middle of the book, so let's try and condense it.
Give us the summary.
So the thing with procrastination is there's a few things that cause procrastination to happen. Procrastination, where you put a task off, or you're like, you want to do the thing, but you're just actually not doing the thing. There's uncertainty, there's fear, and there's inertia. So uncertainty, if we start with that one, uncertainty is when you don't really know what you're even trying to do. Uncertainty is, I've been wanting to go to the gym for a while, but I don't have a plan to follow. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get there. Uncertainty is like, I want to study for my chemistry exam, but like, I've just got study chemistry on my to-do list. I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Does it mean reading the textbook? Does it mean doing practice questions? Does it mean doing some exercise? Who knows? Like, what does it mean? What does go to the gym mean? If I'm not a pro at going to the gym where I can just create a workout from scratch, there's all this extra brain work I have to do to figure out what I'm even doing in the first place. And so antidote number one to procrastination is to get clarity, to just be very clear on what you're trying to do, why you're trying to do it, and when you're going to do it. And this is, the what and the why is like, what specifically am I doing? Why am I doing it? It's very useful to have a strong why behind why you're doing stuff. Sometimes you won't, but you can always connect it. Like, I don't have a strong why for why I want to pay my bills other than that I don't want to go to prison. So that's a reasonable why. And then when am I going to do it? Sticking it in the calendar, making sure it's on the schedule means that when the time comes, you don't have the excuse of I don't have time because it's literally in your calendar. And at that point, you get the other blockers of procrastination. But I think uncertainty is the first one that loads of people get themselves into. And if there's only one thing people take away from this, it's that whenever you feel like you're struggling with procrastination, spend 30 seconds thinking about what you are actually trying to do and making sure it's very clear in your head what you're trying to do and when you want to do it.
This is amazing. Number 15, setting, and I like this because I've grown up with SMART goals.
Yeah.
And I actually hate SMART goals. I don't like them. So you talk about setting nice goals.
Yeah.
What are nice goals?
Yeah. So when it comes to setting goals, you could set SMART goals if you want. Specific, measurable, assignable, or achievable, or ambitious, depending on who you ask. Realistic, time-bound. Again, people change up the R's and the T's. But this was some management consultant in 1981 who came up with this and stuff. And, in fairness, there have been a lot of studies that show that SMART goals are effective in terms of helping people increase their performance.
I guess I don't like them because one of the words is realistic. I just don't like realistic. It's like, why is it realistic to get a whole bunch of metal, put some big fucking fans in it, and then carry people onto the other side of the world? It's so unrealistic. Yeah. So if the Wright brothers had have set SMART goals, they would have been like, well, that's not realistic.
So for you, it's like you want something ambitious rather than realistic.
Yeah, I just like the challenge. I just don't like the word realistic. But paradoxically, when we do set goals, there has to be some level of realism to it. Like if I was to set a goal, next year I'm going to make $1 billion. Like, come on, Morgan.
Yeah.
Sure. not to be negative, but come on, be somewhat realistic.
Realistic, sure.
Yeah, so I think it was Michael Jordan said about setting stretch goals. So set a goal so big that it should be a little unrealistic, and then set it just a little bigger.
Yeah.
Because you just, like we were saying before, you might just hit it. You demand more from yourself than what you would have otherwise.
Yeah. So the nice goals philosophy is actually the complete opposite of this. So what you're saying is that you don't like SMART goals because they're not ambitious enough, and you want them to be more stretched so that they actually make something of you to achieve that particular goal.
I don't not like them. Yeah. I think just because they've been done so many times, sure. I'm like, I throw rocks against it, right?
That's fair enough.
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm not a huge fan of it. But on one hand, it still works.
Yeah. So my approach with nice goals is actually to lower the bar even more. Because the issue with SMART goals, or rather the issue with ambitious goals, is that if you're a beginner at something, setting an ambitious goal is usually, for a lot of people, counterproductive. If I've never been to the gym before, setting myself the goal of hitting 80 kg on my bench press, I've never even been to the gym before. Sure, I can make it specific and measurable and achievable and realistic and time-bound, or maybe I'll make it 60 kg because it's more realistic. But, that sort of goal does not motivate someone who's never been to the gym. The sort of goal that motivates someone to go to the gym is, I'm just going to go to the gym twice a week and try and have fun while you're there. That's a really nice goal for someone who's a beginner to going to the gym, because it helps them build the habit. So NICE stands for NICE, near-term, input-based, controllable, and energizing.
So say it again.
Near term, i.e., what can you do in the next week, rather than I'm going to hit 80 kg on the bench press at the end of 2024. So near term, input based. So it's based on an input rather than an output or an outcome. So instead of I'm going to hit 10,000 subscribers, which is an outcome that's out of my control, it's an input. I'm going to make one video a week. Or I'm going to spend 2 hours a day writing my book. Or I'm going to do 500 words a day. Or I'm going to go to the gym. Or I'm going to go to the gym and do 10 sets of anything. It's some sort of input that I have full control over, and to see controllable. It's under my control. It doesn't require anyone else, because, again, when you're a beginner, to set goals for things that are outside of your control, again, just makes it even harder to just do the thing. And then E for energizing. And let me find a way to actually enjoy the process. Energizing or enjoyable.
So I love that, and I'm 100% going to use that, and I'll tell everyone that Ali Abdaal told me this.
Nice.
Because every single year, I'll make a new video. I'll probably put one out this New Year's Eve as well. I've made a video for maybe last 4 or 5 years saying, don't set big goals this year.
Nice.
Because I 100% agree on that.
Yeah.
Because 99% of people aren't in the habit of actually having good goal setting. They don't have that confidence to go to snowball it because I 100% agree. Because if they start January 1, I think this is why a lot of people fuck up their New Year's resolutions, because they go, haven't worked out for the last 20 years. Okay. We keep using health. Let's say I'm going to start a business. I've had a job for the last 20 years. I've never picked up a personal development book. This is the first podcast I've ever listened to, and I've got no fucking idea. So this year, I'm gonna make $1 million my first business this year because I'm gonna set a smart goal. No, that's it's horrible because there's no foundation there. There's like they'll start and it's just like they start building their tower and it just falls over.
Yeah.
So that's why I love the nice goals, because it's like set them as an actual foundation. Because I actually say this a lot. It's like set something that you said near, right? So I'll often refer to, like, if it's the gym, instead of going, I'm going to lose 20 kilos this year, that's set the goals so that the outcome of the thing you do, the outcome of the behavior you do is the actual goal you want. So it's like, so it should be, okay, well, the nice goals would be, okay, I'm just going to commit to going to the gym once a day. And at the gym, I'm going to do the 30-minute this, and this.
Yep.
For no other reason than to just build the habit of doing the thing I know that if I do repeatedly over time will get me the thing I ultimately want.
Absolutely. And then once you've got the foundation of consistency, at that point, sure, let's start changing up your form. Let's start shooting for 40 kg on the bench press and then 45. But like, until you've built the habit of consistency, all of that shit is like, for a lot of people, counterproductive. And I think in your case, like, you're already pro at this stuff. So for you, setting ambitious goals is like, I want to, I want to reach 1,000 people at my next event, but actually that's kind of too easy. Let's go for 2,000. But if someone's never done public speaking before, trying to think about like a stretch goal of like 1,000 people at my event is completely counterproductive. And so something more like nice goal, like every week I want to ask someone on the street for the time at least once. Great. Mm-hmm. That's nice. And I want to try and enjoy the interaction. Let's make it enjoyable. Like,
I love that. I love it. It's almost like there's two parts of like seasons. Like if you're starting like a new habit or you should start with that.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it. Okay.
I don't know, even now, with my YouTube channel, for example, at the start of my journey 7 years ago, I said no goals other than the goal of I'm just going to make one video a week.
Yeah.
After 7 years of doing this, I've come full circle where I've got a whole team. I've got a freaking multi-million-dollar business around this. My goal for YouTube is now it's not even that. I just want to make videos when I feel like it, and I hope that'll end up being one video a week. I have no goals for subscriber count. I have no goals for revenue. I'm just like, my goal is to enjoy the process. So, like, again, this is not everyone's approach to YouTube. One of my friends, Mr. Who's the Boss, he's got like 17 million subscribers. He's very goal oriented. He sets smart goals for his channel. That's why he's got 17 million subscribers, and I don't. But different strokes for different folks. Yeah.
Okay, number 16. We're nearly at the end here. Number 16, you have already kind of mentioned this. So tell us, what is the 10-10-10 rule?
The 10-10-10 rule. This is great. This is a great strategy for overcoming fear when it comes to letting the mind and letting our fear of judgment from other people get in the way of doing the things that are going to help us live our best life. The 10-10-10 rule is basically this. Ask yourself, will this matter in 10 minutes? Will this matter in 10 weeks? Will this matter in 10 years? And usually the answer to at least one of those questions is no, probably not. And so what that usually means is, it's a way of us recognizing that we tend to overweight the fear of judgment from other people. Like, people will judge me negatively if I do this thing, if I start my blog, if I start this business, if I go part-time in my job so that I can do sales calls on the way. Like, whatever the thing might be, we have this fear that people are going to judge us. We need to remember that no one gives a fuck. No one cares. People are too busy thinking about themselves to worry about what we're doing in the first place. But B, most things don't matter in the long term. Again, right now I've been I've been seeing some negative reviews of my book coming out where some people are like, some people don't like it. And the default is for me to think, oh fuck, like, I start feeling the internal sensations of like discomfort and like fear and like shame and judgment and all that kind of stuff. And, I know the 10-10-10 rule, so I have to remind myself, will this matter in 10 minutes? Yeah, probably, because, the book's going to be out for more than 10 minutes. Will it matter in 10 weeks? Well, honestly, probably not. Like, in 10 weeks, the way the book is performing is not really going to be dependent on a few negative reviews. Will it matter in 10 years? Definitely not. Like, what's a book that's been like 4-hour work week's been out for 10 years? Who gives a fuck if it got negative reviews in its first year of publication? It still changed loads of people's lives. Great. I don't need to worry about this anymore. And just running through that process helps me whenever I feel fear of judgment as being a thing in particular that's getting in the way of what I want.
That's incredible. Dude, we've come to the end. For the 17th, what I do want to say Before we dive into the 17th, it's important that the viewers do a couple things. Number one is get Ali's book. It's
Thank
out
you.
now.
Appreciate it.
Go and get it. It's a badass book. Another thing to do, subscribe, because we've got a part 3 coming out.
Yeah.
Kinda. Where I want to sit down with you and learn everything there is. Teach these guys everything there is to know about how you've built a multiple $1 million YouTube business, really. Like you're the number 1 productivity expert in the world. There's definitely some things there. So if you guys want to see that episode, make sure you subscribe and check it out because it's going to be dropped, I think, probably the week after this one.
Nice.
It's going to be epic. So the 17th one, I've actually got nothing. What is your favorite, most unconventional way to be more productive from your book?
Oh, my favorite thing is a Post-it note that I have on my computer monitor that says a few simple words. It says, "What would this look like if it were fun?" What would this look like if it were
Is that
fun?
the Mary Poppins?
Yeah,
thing?
Mary Poppins reference. Yeah,
I've
find
written
the fun. In every job that is to be done, there is an element of fun. Find the fun and snap. The job's a game. And this is what she says before the famous song, "A spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down." And the backstory of that song, for people who've not seen the film, is like Mary Poppins is a nanny, and she's like babysitting these like 2 kids, and the kids have to do these chores, and they don't feel like doing the chores because they're like, the chores are not fun. This is the pattern of literally all of our lives when we have to do shit that we don't want to do. We're like, oh, the thing's not fun, therefore I don't want to do the thing. So what Mary Poppins says is that in every job that there is to be done, there is an element of fun, and you can choose to find the fun and snap. The job becomes a game. And so she talks about like how larks and honeybees will sing while they like sing their merry tune while they like make their little nest, or like the rats will like I don't know do a little dance while they're like tidying up the shower drain or whatever the thing might be. And the message there is that in everything you do, you can always find the fun in it. So I have a Post-it note on my desk at all times that says, "What would this look like if it were fun?" And whenever I'm struggling with something, I see the Post-it note and I'm like, "What would this look like if it were fun?" Oh yeah, I can think of some ways that this thing might be more fun. Whatever the thing is, might be doing my friggin' tax return, might be doing some admin, might be filling out some forms for my mum because she hates filling out her own forms, might be replying to a bunch of messages that I haven't gotten around. Whatever the thing might be, what would this look like if it were fun? And there's loads of things you can do, but I don't really want to give specific advice here. It's like anyone can, if you had a gun to your head and someone was like, you've got to find 10 ways to make this task that you're doing more fun, you'd be able to find 10 ways to make whatever you're doing more fun. However shit the job is, however much you hate your job, you can always find a few ways to make it more fun. And so that's my favorite productivity hack. Find a way to make it fun.
I love it. Dude, this 2-part series has been insane. I know there's so much gold in this. And also, I got through about 2/3 of your book.
Ah, nice.
Right?
The burnout section is what you've got left to come. Yeah.
There's so much more. So like I kind of almost left a cliffhanger even for the listeners here. So these are definitely a lot of things from your book, but there's so much even more in there. So bro, firstly, appreciate you for coming on here.
Thank you so much for having me on. This has been fun.
Where can everybody find you, check out everything you do, and get your book?
Yeah, so I'm sure there'll be links in the video description or the show notes, whether you're watching or listening to this. You can check me out on my YouTube channel, Ali Abdaal, and my book is at feelgoodproductivity.com, or you can find it in hopefully any bookstore. Feel Good Productivity.
Love it, man. Beautiful. So I did say on part 1 that I had a question. So the final question I ask all my guests is, if you were to go back to your 18-year-old self and give him 30 seconds of advice, what would it be?
Oh, easy. 18-year-old self, you are going to be very, very successful. You got this. You don't need to worry about like grinding and all that shit. Like we got this. We're going to be good. Just focus on enjoying the process, because you don't want to get 10, 15, 20 years down the line and think, damn, I wish I had that time again, because I would choose to enjoy myself a little bit more. Your outcome is going to be your outcome regardless, but you can simply choose to have more fun with it as it's happening. Take everything a little bit less seriously than you currently do. Remember that almost nothing is the end of the world. Remember, broadly, no one gives a fuck about what you're doing, so you don't need to worry too much about it, and just focus on enjoying the process.